Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I asked you guys some questions on Instagram of topics that people don't usually talk about, but they do wonder. And I'm here with my friend Jalen.
Hello.
And we're going to be giving you guys two perspectives on our point of views.
Yeah.
Since we obviously, have different opinions.
Right.
So the first question is, when you have been sexually abused, is it better to speak on it or stay quiet?
I definitely think it's important to speak up, regardless of obviously it's important to speak up to keep safe. So obviously you can't trust everybody, but if you're in school and it's a teacher, tell your parent. If it's happening at home, tell maybe your teacher, maybe, someone you work with, just so somebody else is aware. I think it'll definitely help. Even if it's not immediate help, at least somebody else will be aware of the situation and they can try to get you help. But obviously do it with somebody that you trust, but I think it's important that you speak up.
I definitely agree. I think it's very important to speak up, and I feel like that's such a sensitive topic, but you definitely have to speak on it, just to keep yourself safe and others safe,
Yeah.
You want to ask one?
What is worse, cheating or being financially irresponsible in a relationship?
Okay, so we already went over this. And to me, I was saying how I think it's both. I wouldn't tolerate either. Just because, cheating, no, I cannot be with somebody that's been with somebody else. I can't do that. But then financially irresponsible, to me, it's also a big thing. I'm not your mom, so I'm not going to be taking care of you and paying for everything.
But which is worse, though? Because there has to be one that has to be worse than the other one.
I feel like this is one where I'm never going to be, fully, able to choose one. Okay, so probably cheating, probably. But I just feel, it depends on the scenario, but I feel like cheating is probably worse. Because, financially, I feel like we can fix it, It's definitely something that's fixable. And then once you cheat, you can't fix it. It's already done. You know what I mean?
There's no hesitation. Cheating is worse. Like you said, you can fix financial issues.
Yeah.
You can help the person out. You can help them get a job, whatever the issue is. But cheating, that's a no.
Yeah, because you can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't go back from that.
And you've shared something with somebody else that's supposed to be between us two, and that's So cheating is definitely worse for me.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to change your last name once you get married to your husband's last name?
Okay. So for this one, I feel like it all depends on how you feel. I don't think that it's necessary to actually get your husband's last name if it's something that you're not comfortable with. I do think it has to be a discussion, because I feel like that's something that everybody's used to, always taking their husband's last name. But what happens if you don't feel comfortable doing that? Why can't you take my last name? You know what I mean? I feel like in everything, it always has to be the woman that has to do everything.
Right. Or give up something.
Yeah, it always has to be the woman that has to give up something, and I don't agree with that. I just feel like that's something that you could talk about, and if you have an issue taking over your husband's last name, then he should definitely be understanding about that, and it could be a discussion. And I don't think it should be something that has to be blown out of proportion just because you don't want to take on the last name.
Yeah. So I agree. I definitely think that if maybe you have a specific attachment to your last name. So if I was the only child and I wanted to carry my last name for my dad, or my dad's not here, whatever, I think it's important that that's a discussion that you have with your partner. I don't think it should be assumed anymore that you take your husband's last name. I think regardless, even if you do plan on taking it, that it should be a discussion that it's important to him. I do think it's a little bit different when you have kids. I understand wanting everybody to have the same last name, so that I kind of get. But again, I think it should be a discussion. It just shouldn't be assumed that,
Yeah.
you know, I'm taking your last name. Especially if you don't care. You know, like, if you have no attachment to your family,
Exactly.
like, why would I take your last name? You know, it's
Exactly.
like, so
Exactly.
I think it definitely should be a conversation. Again, I'm not, like, opposed to it, but I definitely think it shouldn't be assumed that, you know, women are automatically going to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. So the next question is, what are your thoughts about checking someone out while you're with your significant other?
I think it's a no. So obviously, like, just because you're with somebody does not mean you automatically don't find people attractive, that you're not going to want to look, whatever. But don't be disrespectful. Like, for no reason should you be staring. Even if you're single, staring, it's so off-putting, it doesn't even make a difference. But you should not be staring. You should not be, like, doing anything extra. If somebody's staring you down, if it's to the point where somebody can feel you looking at them, you've gone entirely too far.
Exactly.
Like I said, like, it's not, you know, people get a relationship, assume, like, oh, like, I'm the only one that you're ever gonna look at, whatever. Like, that's not realistic. But if I'm standing there, I better not catch you. That's just it. Like, I don't even know how else to put it. It's just, no. Just don't be disrespectful.
I think the same thing. I mean, come on, like, it's normal. Everybody looks. Everybody, you know, like she said, you're gonna find someone that's attractive, but just because they're attractive, there's a difference between finding someone attractive and then being disrespectful. I feel like that's, you know, like, obviously if you see someone that's attractive, you're gonna notice that they're attractive, but you're not gonna, like, just, like, stare at them and the whole time and make it so obvious that you think that they're attractive, especially if you're with your significant other. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool. That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
So no. And then it's not even about making someone feel uncomfortable, because there's people out there, like guys and women, that actually, it depends on the type of person that they are, but if you're staring at them too hard, then they obviously think, like, you know, and then they actually approach you without caring that because I've seen that happen. Like, and I just feel like that's not, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where, you know, you're gonna have issues with your partner.
Right. Also, you have to know your partner. So, like, some people may not care, but I think it should be assumed that they do care.
Yeah, because that's not me. I care. Don't do that shit to me.
How do you feel about having sex on your period?
To me, I just feel like that's normal, to be completely honest. Like, obviously, you're not going to do it with just, like, a random person. I feel like overall, like, to me, you know, having intercourse, I feel like that's something that it's personal, and me personally, you just don't do that with anyone. Especially, like, if you're on your cycle, you don't do that with a random person. It has to be with someone that you're connected to, and I really think that's normal. Like, if you're in a relationship, I think it's normal. I don't see anything wrong with that. Of course, you guys have to both agree on it, because some people don't like that, and that's fine. But just because you're someone that does like it, I don't think it's anything to be, like, judged for. Like, I really think it's normal. I really do.
I agree. I think it's completely normal. I think it's as long as your partner's comfortable, I don't see an issue with it.
And if you're comfortable, I mean, just get it on.
Yeah.
So another question is leaving after cheating. Me personally, I wouldn't stay. I know myself, and I feel like once you do that, you completely lose my trust. And trust is something that's very, very hard to get. And if there's no trust, it's just not going to work out. Like, in my book, it's not going to work out, because let's say that your significant other is out doing something like shopping or going to the gym or something, and they don't answer you. That thought is automatically going to come into your head. You know, I feel like you're never going to be comfortable. There's always going to be arguments about something so simple, and the trust is gone. So once the trust is gone, I feel like it's very, very, very hard to get it back. And without trust, like, I just don't think a relationship works out. Like, I can't do it. Like, me, I can't.
Yeah. So I agree as far as, like, trust is important. I think, like, obviously it depends on the situation. So for me, and also, like, I think this is another thing to talk about your partner with, is, like, what is cheating to you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not just like hooking up with somebody else.
If you're spending time on this person, I feel like to me that's cheating. If you're doing something behind my back, you're cheating. Like if you feel the need to hide something from me, you're doing something like shitty.
And I don't even think like, because I feel like people get caught up in that. So like, oh, I didn't hide it. Like, yeah, you were on your phone the whole time we were together. That's not hiding it. I think it's if you give them, if I'm getting even like, if they're even getting half of the attention that I'm getting. I just think it's a conversation you need to have with your partner about like what, you know, what is cheating. It's not just intercourse. Like it is like, you know, giving people attention that they don't deserve. If it's like daily conversation about nothing or honestly anything important or nothing at all, it's still like too much. As far as like if I feel like I'm automatically leaving, I think the assumption would be yes. I think it would just take too much. It would be an automatic breakup regardless, and it would take so much to get my trust back.
Exactly.
If it even happened. So yes, I would leave. And good luck.
Peace out.
Getting your trust back, like, yeah. Because it would just be, I mean, like that, I don't know. I don't give everybody my trust, so once you break it, it's like, well.
It's hard, yeah. It's because me too, like, I feel like it's really hard to get my trust. And I feel like once you know, break that trust, it's very hurtful to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust easily. Right. So when you do something, I feel like I'm going to take it super personal and super to the heart, and it's just not going to be the same. And it's just not. Like, you have to be realistic. Because even if you do decide to stay and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to let it go. Like, whatever. We're going to work on this. Be realistic. If an argument ever comes, that's the first thing you're going to throw out there. Right. That's the first thing that you're going to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or even if you don't say it, like, that's going to be on your mind.
Exactly.
And if it's on your mind, it shouldn't be like,
you shouldn't be in that
situation.
Exactly. You're not good. So I just feel like, no, that's a no-go for me. So another question is, does love mean that you accept everything? When do you put limits?
I don't think means you accept everything. I think there is limits. I think just overall, you don't have, like, yes, you can love somebody, but I think like being in love is completely different.
Yeah.
So yes, I think love is unconditional, that you would love them regardless, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be with you after.
For every single little thing. Yeah. I feel like you have to have boundaries.
Yeah.
At the moment that you start doubting yourself and you start feeling like insecure about something about yourself, you know, not having any confidence, or, you know, when it starts literally fucking with your mind, like that should be like your limit right there. That's the breaking point.
I don't think it means you accept everything. I think there's definitely limits to it. I think just overall, like when you love somebody, yes, you're gonna have more patience, like way more patience than you would with just anybody. So I do think obviously like it extends, it helps a lot. It gives you room to grow, gives that person room to grow, and heal from whatever. But I don't think it means you accept everything. It's just not, because you have to love yourself, right?
Exactly.
So if you're putting yourself in a situation where that's not the case, then there's an issue. It needs to be addressed. So yes, you'll have patience and try to work with that person, but it doesn't mean, you know, you put yourself last all of a sudden. Put yourself last in every situation. So the next one is, do you feel like relationships should be 50-50?
I don't believe, well, let me take that back. Like, yes, like I feel like when you're in a relationship, you guys are like committed to each other. I feel like everything should be kind of like considered 50-50. There's times where, like, let's say myself, I'm not gonna be in a good mood, or I'm gonna have like a shitty day, and I feel like my husband should be there, like, to pick up on the slack that I have that day, and vice versa. Like, I feel like being in a relationship, you always have to have each other's back, and realistically, you're not always gonna want to put 50 and 50% of like whatever the case may be. Sometimes you're, you know, depending on how you feel, you may be a little down a day or upset one day, and I feel like that's what the relationship is for, like, you know, to pick on each other's slack sometimes.
Yeah, I think in that sense it should be 50-50 as far as maybe have each other's backs. So yes, every day won't be great, but you both should be putting in effort regardless of what's going on. If you don't feel great, there should be communication coming from you. I shouldn't have to pull it out of you. I think, I mean, even when it comes to like bills, you know, like that's like people have strong opinions about that.
Yeah.
When it comes to like, you know, everything should be 50-50. Well, I don't think that's fair. I think it should be based off of income, right? So if I make more and you make a third of what I make, bills 50-50 is not 50-50.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Yeah.
If you, I mean, it's really for anything. So, you know, I think that yes, it should be 50-50, but it should be fair.
As far as like effort, I feel like you always have to feel like a person
Effort for sure.
is there the same way that you're there for them.
I agree.
So, okay. So the next one is, what do you do when you have a toxic family member?
Cut them off.
Damn!
Like, I don't care. If somebody's like purposefully doing something that's causing you harm, it's time to let them go. I don't care who it is. Like, especially if, like, obviously you communicate that, right? So like, I mean, just like you would for friends.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Address it first, and if it's not, you know, but I think a mistake and being toxic is different things. So like, toxic is nonstop. You're doing
exactly
this on
like
purpose.
You feel like they're always making you feel a certain type of way, like all the time, like no matter what you do.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah,
it's time to cut them off.
With family, I'm gonna be very honest. Like with family, I feel like you give a lot of chances just because they're family. Me personally, I tend to do that. Like I give a lot of chances when it comes to family members. But again, like I do feel that you know, they're just giving you negative vibes, or it's just something that you don't want to be around with. Definitely remove yourself from the situation, especially if you have been very vocal about it and you communicate, because I feel like communication is key with every single relationship. It doesn't matter what it is. I feel like communication is key. So I feel like I'm very vocal and really express myself, and if something makes me uncomfortable, I'm gonna let you know. Or if you do something that I don't think it's right, I'm gonna let you know. Now if I already had like a discussion with you and you continue to do the same things and have the same behavior, then that automatically lets me know that you don't respect my feelings, you know, you don't take me in consideration. So it's like, if you're not gonna, I can't help what other people do. Like I only have control of what I do. So I feel like the best thing to do is to remove myself from the situation, again, no matter who it is. Like, because not just because they're your family, you have to feel like you have to stick around. Like it doesn't work that way. Like if it's someone that just doesn't bring anything good into your life, then you definitely have to let them go.
Yeah, I would treat, especially at this stage in my life, like I don't have time.
Exactly.
I don't care. If you're doing something that I don't like and I've addressed it, and it's more like, I can push it off, and it's like honestly like messing with me mentally, I would I don't care if it's my parent, my sibling, my aunt, uncle, grandma. If you can't fix it or make it better, or, you know, like try to work on whatever the issue is, and you're going to continue to be that way, we will not have a conversation. Like, I'll act like you're not there. Because I don't, like, family or not, I don't care.
Because no one deserves to take anyone's peace away. You know what I mean? Like, you deserve to have your peace. And if someone is trying to take that away from you, that's not it.
Yeah.
You know? So the next thing is thoughts on UTIs.
I feel like people get them. I don't know. Like, people get them. I don't know.
I think they're normal.
Yeah.
I think they're normal. I'm going to be very honest with you guys, and maybe it's TMI, but I've only had one, like, in my entire life. And when I actually got it, I was freaking out because I had never had anything like that down there. And, you know, I was thinking, like, the craziest things because I honestly didn't know what what a UTI was until I actually went to the doctor. And I have heard that there's like stages of like UTIs. There's like, you know, just like mild, and then there's like very, very severe ones. I feel like mine was in between, just because again, TMI, but you know, it would burn whenever I had to pee, and then like whenever like I wiped, that's when I went to the doctor, because whenever I wiped myself, there was like pinkish, like if I was bleeding, you know, but it was like very light pink, so I freaked out, and so I went to the doctor, and then the doctor told me that, you know, it was a UTI, and that it's normal, that they're very, very common. And it has to do with various things. Like, I feel like it could be a lot of things. They could be like, you know, your detergent, that's what the doctor said. It could be like the type of underwear that you use. Maybe you wear like a lot of thongs. Like, it has to do with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think anything of it. Like, I feel like it's normal. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like people get them. And I mean, you know, there's just ways to like deal with them. You just have to know exactly what your situation is and what's going on. But like, as far as like ways to deal with them, I know that a lot of people sometimes don't even wear like underwears and stuff. Me, I have to have an underwear on. Like,
Yeah.
I may sleep without one. It's fine. Like, I'm good like sleeping without one, you know, because sometimes you do have to like, you know, air, like let everything like air out and stuff. And what else do I do? Like, I use cotton underwear like before. Like, I would use like cute ones or whatever. But the doctor said that cotton underwear is the way to go. So that's something major.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
to
think
avoid
anybody-
stuff like that.
I mean, we're too grown to be like grossed out by anything.
Yeah,
and
like-
it's part of what happens. There's ways to fix it. I don't know. It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. Like, it's common. It happens.
It's completely normal, and it's
Yeah,
not
to
gonna kill
get them.
you.
Like, it's not something that you should be ashamed of.
Yeah.
So, what is your take on stretch marks and showing them off?
Again, that's part of your body. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think there's more of an issue or like something against it growing up. And just from like stuff you hear, you know, TV, things like that.
What do you
I
mean
think it's
growing
like 14 or 15, I would never be confident enough to be like, oh yeah, look at this. Like,
Oh,
you know,
okay,
kind of
okay,
pointing
okay.
it out.
Yeah.
At this age, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I just think we're too old to even care.
Yeah.
Like, way too old. Again, it's part of getting older. It's a part of being a human, period.
Yeah.
It's not even getting older. It's because some people
Yeah, because some people
literally
get
don't
them when
get
they're younger, and it's just
Yeah.
because, you know, stretch marks, again, it could be various reasons, like, to getting stretch marks. Like, me, I have stretch marks, like, on my stomach, and I got them from being pregnant, you know? But there's people that have them just to have them, you know? Like, and again, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, of course that some people are going to feel, like, a little insecure, or they might not want to show them off, but let's be realistic. A lot of people have them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're very, very common. It's the same thing with like cellulite.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a lot of people have it. It's fine. Like, it's and honestly, I feel like a lot of girls get insecure when it comes to like guys. But if we're being 100% honest, I really feel that guys don't give a fuck.
I think it's an age thing. I think guys at 15, yeah, they probably cared, but so did you. But
I mean,
past being an adult, you know.
Yeah,
it's
because
like-
I mean, I probably just don't give a shit. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's not something that defines you. So the last question, you guys, is during sex, do you feel the need to be reserved? If not, what would your partner think?
No. No.
Yeah.
I feel like that if anything, you're more reserved with strangers.
Yeah.
But also, like, people can be uncomfortable being any other way. So yes, if you and your partner are reserved, and that's what's good for you guys, and that's fine.
But I mean, with each other, you see, like, I don't agree with that. Because with each other, like, I feel like you shouldn't feel like that. Because I've never been in a relationship where I feel like I have to be reserved or
No,
keep
not-
myself from you. Like,
Not like that, but I'm saying, like, if safe is where both of you stand. So, like, literally not trying anything, like, out of the ordinary at all.
oh, like sexually,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
So some
Well,
people
that's
don't
what
try, like,
yeah,
they-
but I'm saying
and they're
that-
happy with, like, because they're a pair, they're happy with that. So yes, if you're not reserved and your partner is, that's not going to work. But if there's two people that this is where they're comfortable and they're both
I mean,
happy,
obviously,
I think that's fine.
yeah. Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, that's, again, like, I feel like if you guys are both like that, and there's no need to have even a conversation, like, you automatically know how your partner is. But I'm talking about, like, if, let's say that I'm wild, and my husband is a little more, like, you know, laid back, a little more this, I feel like there should not be an issue of me being vocal about it and telling him, like, you know, telling him, hey, like, you know, maybe we should try this or maybe we should try that. Like, I feel like there's no problem there. Like, if he's your partner, again, that's what partners are for, and they should hear you out. Like, it shouldn't be an issue, or it shouldn't be a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I think personally.
I think you should definitely say, if you're either way, if it's a man talking to the woman or whatever,
Yeah.
I think regardless, you should be telling your partner exactly how you feel.
And you have to
If you
express what you
like or don't like.
Exactly.
But I think reserved is just not the good way to put it. I think, like, I'm not going to push my partner to the point where they're so uncomfortable, even though it makes me happy. I would never do that, because then now I don't want it because you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yes, you're going to have to push boundaries. But if it's a point of like, okay, I can't, I wouldn't want to be pushed to that either. Like,
Yeah.
all right, like I did that once, but not anymore.
I feel like I'm different
I
because
just think
I feel
that-
like I'm willing to try whatever. Like, I am. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm willing to.
But we're talking
to
about
hear you
opposites
out.
though. If your partner is not like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I feel the same way. Like, I feel like if I'm willing to try something out that you may like, I feel like you should do the same. Now, if
Trying
you tried
it, I'm talking
if you
about
tried
repeated.
it, yeah, like if you tried it and you don't like it, then that's fine. Like, that's fine. Like, if you didn't like it, it wasn't your thing, that's fine. I get it. You know, again, like, I'm not gonna force something upon somebody, but I also feel like you need to be a little open-minded when it comes to that. Especially when you've been in a relationship for so many years, you have to.
I don't think it takes years. I think
it
that's
does.
like
Because at
after
first,
a couple months, no.
what do you mean?
You're gonna go years not being
No. I'm saying, like, especially after years, like when you've been together with somebody for so many years, it gets very repetitive and it gets very comfortable. So I feel like you need stuff to spice your relationship up. So, like, at first, you know, at first in a relationship, it's all lovey-dovey, it's all fun, it's all this or whatever. But after you've been with somebody for so many years, sometimes your significant other does not notice that, you know, like, I'm missing this, or like, you know, or I'm no longer feeling like the spark, or I'm no longer feeling like the passion, or whatever the case may be. So I feel that after so many years, you have to be a little open-minded and be willing to spice things up and keep that connection going.
Yeah.
But-
I think if you're not open-minded in the beginning, it's already an issue.
Yeah.
I think that, like, yes, it's easy to get repetitive, but I think that's one area that most, I can't even say most, but some people, like, that's important.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, we might have a normal day-to-day, we might do the same thing literally every weekend, but that time should be, like,
Yeah.
you know, a focus.
Because
So I don't know.
that's another thing that, like, I would be very curious to, like, know. Do you think that sex is important in a relationship? Because a lot of people
I
don't think so.
No.
I do. You see, and again, I feel like it depends on how you are personally when it comes to that.
I think if, like, for me, I don't know, because even, like, talking to people, like, I can be physically attracted, but that's literally where it stops. Like, oh, he's cute.
Yeah.
Literally nothing else. Like, for me,
Well,
it's
yeah,
more
but
like,
I'm saying in a relationship.
once you're connected
if
to
you're
somebody,
in a relationship,
I think, yeah.
because
But I think it's important. I think everybody would say it's important. I think it's different as far as, like, how high on the list is it? I think that's a difference. So yes, it's important because
that's what
it's
I mean.
dealing
Like,
with
but
my
do you
partner.
think it's important? Like, because there's some people that really don't think it's important, and there's some people
I
that
think it's
literally
important to make sure
could
that,
go like a long time without you know
Yeah.
touching you or whatever. And it's fine if we're both on the same page,
Yeah.
you know. But if one person is a little needier than the other, I feel like it is important. Like,
Yeah.
it is important because then that's when, if the person that you know needs that attention or needs that touch, like, I feel like that's, and if you're not giving that to them, that's when issues arrive.
yeah,
And
I
that's
think
when
it's important to, it should be, like I said, it should be important to everybody. Where it falls on the list, it's depending on the person.
yeah.
And also, just because it's important doesn't mean it happens all the time.
Exactly.
Like, it's important when it happens, but doesn't
That's
have to
the
happen
thing.
every
It's
day.
important when it happens.
Yeah.
Like, you have to make sure that you're satisfied. Like, sometimes I'm just like in shock because I've heard that some guys are not like that. Like, you know, they just take care of themselves, and
Yeah.
they're and to me that's like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
that's
I
crazy to
like
me.
read and like listen to so many things that nothing will really shock me as far as that goes. Some people don't have a high sex drive. Some people do, and then sometimes it like depends on your age, what you're going through, like whatever.
Yeah.
if I'm with somebody, yes, it's important, but it's important when it happens. It's not important that it happens every day, because that's when it's
Yeah.
like kind of like whatever, they're doing it for
Yeah,
me. I don't
exactly.
like that.
Yeah, like you
So-
have to feel connected.
But
You
some
have to
people
both
don't want
it.
to. Some people don't care about the connection part, and that's like okay,
That's-
yeah, it's important to me,
yeah.
and the connection's not. That's so. I think if it's important, I think it varies. I think important can be a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
So, as long as you're both happy.
Have you seen the series on Netflix that just came out? It's called
No.
Girl. Well, that series, it basically talks about that. Like, the woman has like a great husband. They're like married. They have a good house. Like, they have kids, and she it's not pleased in that way. Because her husband is like, he focuses on work and stuff like that. So she starts like fantasizing of her ex-boyfriend, and it's interesting because like it basically says like, you know, like you could have like 85% of your life, it's great, and then you have that 15% that's missing, which is like the sexual stuff. And it's like some people are willing to let go of the 85% to just get the 15% for
Yeah.
somebody, and to me
But is
that's
that-
crazy.
But okay, but they can consider that important, right?
Yeah.
But then like you wouldn't think the same.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Like,
so I
so
like
I
I
feel
said, I
like it
think
has to.
important
You guys
varies.
have to really be on the same page.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
think-
I mean? In order for something to work. Like I don't know. Like I think you just have to be open minded and communicate, and I just don't think that, you know, having those type of conversations with your partner should be anything crazy. Like I feel like you should feel, if you're with somebody, I honestly think that you should feel comfortable enough to speak your mind and let them know what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want.
I
you know?
think, I mean, I do that before even getting a relationship. I'm pretty open.
Yeah.
Like, there is no surprises. There's no, because I'm not going to get a relationship where I know I'm, off the bat, I already know I'm going to be unhappy. No.
So you
What
would
am
talk,
I wait? Yeah.
So if,
I've literally had conversations like,
about sex.
yeah, the
Like,
first
just, like,
day, and not even necessarily,
honestly?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Like,
that's cool.
it
is.
she goes, that's cool. I mean, like,
It is, because that's like shocking. Like not a lot of people do that.
I mean, like, if you're, like, I'm comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
They're also comfortable, and it doesn't even have to be like necessarily like with each other,
Yeah.
but like, oh, I
Just
don't
to
like
know
that.
what
Literally,
you like,
it's
what you
like
don't like.
state what's your favorite color, what's your favorite sex, like it's the
Yeah.
same thing to me. It's like that's important. If
Yeah.
that's something I know I can't do, or I'm not willing to do, or they're not willing to do, whatever, it's better to know that on the first day, or you know, like not necessarily the first day, but like,
yeah.
before I would never enter a
Before you
relationship where
commit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why would I? How do I even know? Like, because if that's important to me,
Yeah.
so not necessarily like how often or whatever. Like that will vary.
Mhm.
But if like doing one specific thing is important to me, and I know that they don't like that,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
But so you wouldn't be willing to like still be in the relationship or get into the relationship and maybe, because I
There's-
feel like you can't just push like someone out just because they're not willing to do that, because again I feel like, you know,
No, I
as
think
you
you
start
can.
building the relationship,
But
I feel
you're
like
not-
you could kind of get them to try something, and then they might like something that they don't even know that they ever liked.
No.
That's how I see it.
I mean, I think, yes, you're going to try things that you've never tried. Your partner is going to be able to, like, maybe talk you into things.
Yeah.
But I'm not going into it thinking I'm going to change them on something that is important. Like, if this is, like, the deal breaker and you're already saying no, I'm not going into it like, I can change your mind. I'm not doing that. Not with somebody, because I'm getting to know them.
Yeah.
I'd rather try that with somebody who's like, oh, yeah, me too. Then
But I mean, then there's no point. Like, to
there's
me,
no point.
Yeah, like,
Exactly. There's
point
no
in that.
conversation. There's no conversation. There's no. If somebody said, say you were single, and
Okay.
somebody said, like, sex is important and we have to have threesomes.
What? No.
Okay, but what if
Yeah.
they're like, I can talk her into it. I'm gonna stick around. Now you've grown to be attached, but there's always gonna be this one thing for them
Yeah.
that's gonna be like, dang, but she doesn't do this.
Well, then bye. Like,
Okay, so why would you wait?
Like, no.
Exactly, that's literally my point. Why would you wait if your answer is no?
Yeah.
What are they waiting for? Why would they think that I can talk her into it? I can get her to try. Like,
No.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly my
It's 'cause-
point.
yeah, like,
so
it's
first,
'cause- no.
there's no wasting
No.
time. if it's like I said, and there's nothing that's like, oh, if you don't do this, then I'm out. But if you're boring, this won't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't think that you should. Dating is finding somebody who majority of the things that
you guys have like in common.
either in common, you're in same interest.
Yeah.
Maybe they can be completely opposite of you, and that could draw you to them. You know, because they're not like you. But if it's something like that's important to you, and you like, you know, something a specific way. If somebody said, like for me, like I'm not big on like gender roles, right?
Yeah.
So I think that if the trash is full, I'm gonna take it out. Am I gonna wait 2 days because my husband's out of town for the trash to still be sitting there? No.
Hell no.
But for me, like, and I don't, if I'm with my husband in the car or my partner in the car, I'm not getting out to pump the gas. I'm not doing it. We will both be sitting in the car. I'm not doing
But
it.
you see, like, I feel like that's, to me, that's like a no-brainer. Like, because, well,
but no,
I've never,
that's not
like,
a
you
no-brainer
see,
because
like,
I've seen women pumping gas.
But you see, to me, that's like crazy. To
So,
me,
but
because
okay,
it's like,
so
what?
that's a for me. Okay, so for me, that's a deal breaker. So
Yeah,
that would
because
be
that's
something like I
crazy.
would bring up, like, you know, that would be something that would be a topic of conversation when I first like started getting to know them. Like that's a deal breaker for me. So if you feel any other way, it's not gonna work. But I would feel the same way when it comes to intimacy. Like if we're not on the same page, it's not gonna work. And I'm not gonna like be like, I can get you into pumping the gas when I'm in the car. I'm not gonna do that. Like you're already set in your ways. So I don't think you should ever like be like, I can get you into it and like continue with either the relationship, whatever. I think the conversation's over.
Okay. And
There's no flexibility.
I mean,
with
those type of examples, there's
no,
there's no.
Absolutely not. Like you may get somebody. I mean, and even this is pushing it. Like somebody with lower sex drive, like, oh well, we can like try and get them to do it more often.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But it's again like you said, like I don't think it has to be with like how often it is. You just whenever it happens, it just has to be like bomb, and you know it has to count. You know, like it just has to be. We don't have to do it like every single freaking day, but like when we do it, I feel like it has to be done right. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because if not, then I don't know. Like,
but some people think frequency is what better is or what important is because I'm doing this every day. That's not input. So I think, like I said, I think that importance can mean so many different things.
Yeah.
Is it important? Yeah, but quality is what's important. Not
because that's how
quantity.
I think. Like I feel like quality is definitely important because I wouldn't give two shits like if you want to do every single day, but if it's shitty, like. Do I really want to do it every single day? You know what I mean?
Ever.
Yeah, like, come on now. Like,
not ever.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's it.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Like, I'm just like, what?
Yeah. Girl, I like straight up, like, I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah. And this is what makes me so glad that I'm not single and I've been in this relationship forever because, like, just hearing people say crazy shit, it's like, hell no. Like I can't imagine myself like being out there and have to like literally tell you like the gas thing. Like I can't imagine myself having to sit there and tell a guy like, oh, like I don't like
but know? I think obviously
because it's
like
crazy to me. It's like to me it would be like common sense.
In those ways I think it depends. So like there's a bunch of guys and women that also don't think that's important. Like it's some women literally don't care.
That's insane.
Like, wouldn't think twice about it because there's guys that think it's fine. Well, who's teaching them that that's okay? Exactly. Somebody's not saying something. So, yes, you would have to, like...
That's what I'm saying, but it's like, whoa, like, to me, it's like, do I really have to sit here and tell you what's right and what's wrong?
But I think
like,
that's not even necessarily, like, being in a relationship or not. I think it's, like, being aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't think that was important and now I have a son and I'm not teaching him that.
Yeah.
Now he thinks that's not important.
Exactly.
So also is the girl who he's dating. So that like, I think like people say like chivalry is dead and I don't think it is. I think it is based on how you grow up. And I feel like for the most part, I feel like I date people who have had similar lifestyle as me, like growing up or who we can relate on a bunch of like things.
Yeah.
But I think like manners is important.
Oh,
like
definitely.
That's, but for a lot of people, it's not.
That-
I mean, hell, some women don't have manners. Like, there's a lot of women with no manners. It's like, who raised you?
Yeah, like that's you see, like that's insane to me. Like I'm like, what? Like,
and I don't think it's
that.
I don't
to
think
me,
it's
that's
insane. I
Like,
think
to me, it's like what?
it's more common, which is why it's more common, which is why it has to be addressed, because that is the normal. Like, so I don't think it's crazy. I think it's because it's so common. You do have to address what you like or don't like.
Yeah.
Manners is important.
Yeah, definitely.
And for the most part, like I've never been like, oh, you won't do this, I'm out of here, because I've, I've always talked to people that had manners, and that, you know, in that sense, I don't need anybody carrying me to the car, but like, even I saw this one guy, I was in the parking lot like this a couple weeks ago, and he had two girls and his wife, I'm assuming it's his wife or girlfriend, whatever. And they were walking out of the store, going to the car, and they parked like by me. So I was like parking as they were walking to their car. All three of them stood by the door and waited, and he opened every single one of their doors.
Oh wow.
But you don't see that.
You don't see that.
You
Often.
honestly
Yeah,
don't
you
even
don't
see often the man opening the. When's the
you don't
last
see
time
that.
you've seen?
You don't see that anymore. Like,
But that's what
back
I'm
in the
saying.
day.
Like, stuff disappears, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "That's weird to even see it," because it's so common not to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's
That's
the same
true.
thing. Unless you address it, unless
Yeah.
you know, for her or for him, that could be important for him, and she allows it because that's important to him. Like, it could go either way. But if it's important to you, I feel like you should make sure that, okay, I have to do this, or I'm not doing this, I need you to do this for me. Yeah. But like that, you honestly, like, you rarely see men opening car doors.
Yeah.
Like, when I saw that, I was like, they literally, and I heard him, like, I had the window down, because one of the girls, she was like maybe like 6, and I heard him say, "You better not open the door." Like,
what?
but that's also teaching, like, and any man that comes in your life should be doing that.
Should be exactly.
But couldn't tell you the last time I saw that from anybody, you know, like, occasionally you'll see it like man and woman, but like man for his daughter, which that should be the first person that it comes from anyway. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's just like, whoa. And it's so true though.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like, times have gone to shit, man.
I just think that just leaves, for me, it's more like, it just leaves room for conversation, get to know people, because you just assume.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even now, like, you know, like, watch movies and stuff and be like, oh, it's a fairy tale. Those things don't exist. Like, you need to speak up about what you like, don't like. Don't be in a situation where you feel like that person doesn't care or that's not important to them. Why are you wasting your time? No. There's people out there who do think like you.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is
So.
crazy. But yeah, guys, so those are all the questions that we have, right?
Yeah.
Those are all the questions that we have. I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we will see you next time. All right?
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.